Happy Halloween, everyone. What better way to celebrate than with a little project with the 1976 Buccaneers, or rather, the revenge of the 76 Buccaneers. Of course, what a horror show that was for Tampa Bay. The original 76 Buccaneers went 0-14 in their inaugural season. Of course, they faced teams like the 13-1 Raiders, a team of destiny, the Super Bowl champs of the bicentennial NFL season. But we're not going to put the 76 Buccaneers through that again. In fact, the Buccaneers are going to call on all the spirits of the franchise giants. We're going to build an original franchise all-star set for the Buccaneers, who will avenge themselves against the 76 Raiders here in a test of all-time talent. And what better clash than two teams with pirates as their emblems? And we're going creamsicle here, Bucko Bruce era. All right. Now, for those familiar with APBA football, you'll know that in 1983, with the launch of the Master Game, the big revision of the game, APBA put out a series of original franchise all-star teams. These teams came with these great envelopes, and they featured players up to the 1981 season, okay, because all those original cards were not going to be compatible with the new set, so you got to play a bunch of the old stars in the new game. And the original set of 14 NFL teams included the Lions and the Packers and the Rams, the Giants, the Eagles, the Steelers, the Cardinals, the Niners, the Browns, the Redskins, the Colts, the Bears, and the two additions to the league in 1960 and 61, the Cowboys and Vikings. So not technically the original NFL franchises. They went past that dozen, call it an APBA dozen of 14 teams. But since that time, a lot of the teams, the teams that came into the league after 1961 have not been represented with a complete deck of all-star players. So that means when the Dolphins and the Falcons came into the league in 66, and the Saints in 67, and the Bengals in 68, and the Buccaneers and Seahawks in 76, they have yet to receive a full-on original franchise all-star set, going back to, well, in the case of the Bears, they even put Mr. George Halas on the team. So you don't have that treatment for a lot of these teams. Therefore, you have to do a little collecting to build your own, okay? And being that this is the 50th season of the Tampa Bay franchise, they've, I think, released a list of the top 50 Buccaneers of all time, and many of those lists exist. And I know there are APBA players like Harvey Keeler or Larry Ashinsky who build their original franchise all-star sets from scratch, and we're going to do that here, okay? So the 76 Buccaneers are going to tag in, their best players. So Leroy Selman of 76 is only a 2 point out of 5 possible points. No. We're going to get the top performing ghosts of the Buccaneers past. And let's start doing that by looking at the original 79 set, which is not compatible with the Master Game, but we can still use some of these players and combine them with the old boards, or combine their cards with the new boards if we need to look up results from plays. Batman Wood, Charlie Hanna, Ricky Bell, Mark Cotney, Leroy Selman, Dewey Selman, Jimmy Giles. Doug Williams only a 2. Interesting, in 79. That does not make a lot of sense, but Dave Lewis, and I think that's the, I have to make sure, Ike Higgins, some of the great old players from that 79 season where the Buccaneers were 9 points from the Super Bowl. Greg Horton, a good 4-pointer there. Of course, in APBA football, every player is rated from 5 points best to 1 point worst. When you build an original franchise all-star set like this, therefore, most of the players are 4s and 5s. It's a bit skewed, and you tend to play these original franchise sets against other original franchise sets. to come up with some really classic matchups. They're not really for long-term replays, more like these individual projects, but you know, anything is possible. So I'm a little curious that Doug Williams only got 2 for that season, but he's got that nice gaudy 1, generally a touchdown there at 66. Just double check where the penalty and fumble, now 12 and 13. So they really underrated Doug Williams there. Might want to pull his 1980 card, but let's see what we've got. But I think we've built some of the set already here. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a classic offense and a classic defense using Buccaneers from across the spectrum. Now, we can go back to the 1999 Tony Dungy era teams. I think they were 11-5 that year, en route to a Super Bowl in 2002. Of course, when Gruden took over, facing his own Raiders, that's a whole other story we won't get into. The 02 Buccaneers right here, but I believe we've already interspersed some players in here. So let's look around and see. Of course, we got Mr. Mike Evans from the 2023 season set here. What we're going to do is we're just going to build a classic Buccaneer team here, a true original franchise all-stars set. What we're going to do here is first we got the 99 cards, which are compatible with the Master Game. And look, we've already built in some folks. Chris Godwin from the 2021 season. We got Jacques Green, if we want to use him. In terms of all-timers, Warwick Dunn. Well, we've got his 1997 card here or his 99 card. So we'll decide which of those to use. Mighty Mike Allstott. Again, we can use his 97 card or his 99 card. They look practically identical where it counts. He's a single K runner at 66, means you roll for that breakaway on the K column. He's just a truck there. So Dunn and Allstott together again, maybe with a little bit of Doug Williams as quarterback there and Ricky Bell. Maybe we go, we do a Bell and Eckwood in a full house backfield kind of a situation. Or, of course, Tom Brady in his penultimate season. Ridiculous numbers that year, 43 touchdowns. I don't think we need to use Trent Dilfer or Sean King here, right? There's Doug Williams. I believe that's his 1980 card. So I think we'll favor that if you compare the two. It's his 81 card, I think. Remember, these are the days when you have to identify the card based on the placement of the 33 or 34 and the 35 or 36, the fumble number and the penalty number. And in this case, they moved down to 45 and 65. We'll check the identifier, but I believe that's the 81 card. Although actually, if you look at him, even though he's a point less than 79, he's got that 1 at 66 versus the 3. So it's a tough call. 79 is that great season. We'll decide. We'll see how we put Doug Williams to work there, which version of himself he'd like in. Paul Gruber, 97. And we got some special teams folks here. And we got Carl the Truth Williams. We got Rydell Anthony. Martin Gramatica. I think he's going to be our kicker, right? It's going to be our guy. And then, of course, Warren Sapp. Again, you know, which of his 5-point seasons do you want? We won't be using the QS code to record sacks here. Hardy Nickerson, okay? Mr. Singleton, I don't think he's going to make the cut here, unfortunately. There's another Hardy Nickerson. That's his 99 card. Derek Brooks, obviously, 99 works just fine. In the secondary, you get Donnie Abraham, Rondé Barber. See, we might find a better Rondé Barber card there. Of course, John Lynch, 5. That works. Do we have some other folks here? I don't think any of these other ones are going to make the cut. So we'll continue here with the 2002 Buccaneers set. But we have brought the team up to date so far with Brady and Godwin and Evans. And then we've got from the 02 set, let's see who we can pull we haven't pulled already. Keyshawn Johnson, let's put him in the mix there. Let's see, we got another Mike Allstott, though he's only 3 points. Let's see, Michael Pittman, we can put him in the mix there. We want to put a little Brad Johnson in there. He did win the first ring for them, right? He did get a 4-point card. Let's put him in there. I think he deserves a little hurrah. Let's look at special teams. Who would we like? Carl, the Truth Williams. Was that his nickname? And Grammatica again, 02. We'll take a look and see. And Tom Tupa, he's as good a choice as any as a punter, I'd say. All right, and then we're going to go over to defense and see who we might pull, any 4s or 5s. Let's pull Anthony McFarland. Warren Sapp is still a 5. Gee, oh, there's Simeon Rice. That's a clear all-timer. Shelton Quarles is a 4. Another 5-point Derek Brooks card, obviously. Brian Kelly and John Lynch, another 5-point card there. So we've got a lot of folks and seasons to choose from. And that brings up a point. I really like to use the players' numbers from the actual season, just like you see in the original franchise sets. Now, APBA created a couple of all-decade sets, if you will. They created a 1980s all-star set, all-decade set for all the teams, with players' cards being an amalgam of their best stats over the decade, if I remember correctly. Same goes for the AFL, and you can still get the AFL all-decade set for only the original 8 franchises. So again, you don't have all-time player cards for specific seasons of that 66 Dolphins set or anyone who might have been on that set, or the 68 Bengals. You don't have, since they came into the league in 66 and 68 respectively, did Miami and Cincinnati, you don't have franchise sets based on those teams. And so those all-time players from, we don't even have the Bengals there. So you don't have a Bengals All-Star franchise set or a Dolphins All-Star set. You don't have a Buccaneers all-time set here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building here. And we're going to try to keep everything straight. So on offense, what do we need? Well, we've got an embarrassment of riches here with a 79 guys as a base set. Now remember, if we use the 79 like a Ricky Bell, we're going to have to use the older boards. Never fear, we have them. Oh my goodness. This is, we'll build a defense, and we'll build them, and we'll see if we build it as a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense here. So we're just going to gather the troops. The 79 set deserves strong representation given their run toward the Super Bowl. That's not the best Rondé Barber card, but we'll see. Grammatica there. And Warren Sapp, we'll have to figure out which card we want for him. Carl Williams, we'll see which Grammatica card looks best. At quarterback, again, we've got Brad Johnson, Mr. Brady, and we had Doug Williams under here. Okay, and what we'll do in a project like this is play it just like a Pro Bowl. We'll sub in Doug Williams on one drive, then Tom Brady. And we'll play a quarter here against the mighty 76, 13-1 Raiders. Team of Destiny beat the Steelers that opening day and kind of set the tone for the season. Of course, the 76 Bucks had to face not a bunch of great teams in the AFC that season. The Bills were 2-12. It wasn't all great teams, but of course, besides the 13-1 Raiders, you had the 11-3 Patriots, 11-3 Colts, the mighty 76 Steelers, who went 10-4 with that string of shutouts, and the poor 10-4 Bengals didn't even make the playoffs given the era. So we'll put Tom Tupa in as a punter. We got Gruber here as an O-lineman. I don't know if we've chosen a center, actually, so we will have to figure that out. We've got, I'll try to build our secondary here. We got our corners. We got Have to move some of our things out of the way here. It's tough building a franchise, you know, and that's why APBA football is so great, because you get to do Mark Royals. You know, it's not a bad call on punter either. Doesn't have to be all the greats. It could be some guys who were particularly good that season. There's Warren Sapp. There's Anthony McFarland. I think we're going to be doing a 4-3 defense, but, you know, we can play around with that. It doesn't really matter in APBA football whether you go 4-3 or 3-4. There's no particular benefit for it. So, Corals Rice, yeah, that's going to be a tough call. 4-3 or 3-4. And Hardy Nickerson, 2 versions of him there. Warwick Dunn, Mike Allstott. The 99 versions or the 97 versions. I think it's not going to make a big difference there. I think Jerry Eckwood, he was such a great name in that era. Mike Pittman, Keyshawn, great set of receivers there, and Mr. Lynch in the secondary. I think we don't have an actual center. We're going to have to figure out. We might just pull, who do we have here? Not really an all-star center in the annals of Buccaneer history. Oh, Tom Blanchard. Wally Chambers, the old, the former Bear there. Ike Higgins. Oh, I almost feel like we should have Ike Higgins in reserve. Why not? We need a center. Steve Allen Wilson. Well, how about that? Pressed into service. And let's see. In the secondary, maybe Cedric Brown and Mike Washington from that era. And Jarris White. Do a little nickel and dime here, yeah? My goodness. All right, so we're getting closer here. We're getting closer. And again, we'd rotate, you know, Dunn and Allstott with Bell and Eckwood. We can have full house backfield, all kinds of permutations here. So, start with quarterback. We'll use 81. Well, you know what? I'm going to stick with 79, Doug Williams. I'll have 81 as a backup here. Then we'll have a little Brad Johnson. We'll save Brady for last. That's how we'll do this in one quarter. There's your quarterback. Our tight end, I think, is just going to be Jimmy Giles. How about that? Because just what a classic guy. We'll go with the, let's see, Warwick Dunn was KK. I think we're going to go with his 97 card. Yeah, we're going to go with Warwick Dunn's 97 card. And we can go with Allstott. We'll start with his 2002 card. They're pretty much identical. So we'll do that. We've got our quarterback and our running backs. And then we're going to get our O-line here, right? So we got Hannah and Horton. Wilson, don't know about that. And we've got... are we missing a guard? We sure might be. That O-line over the years for the Buccaneers, maybe not the strongest unit. No, we had Hannah. Where did he go? Is he back in the envelope here? Let's see. Thought I pulled him out. No. As we go through the defense, we'll flesh that out. Receiver-wise, Godwin, Evans, Johnson, Higgins. I wonder if we shouldn't include just a touch of what was his name? I can't believe I don't remember since we did Morris Owens. Not really a great card there, though, so I think we'll, not a great receiver core there. Maybe we'll pull in one of the 76 Bucks. You know what? I think we might do that. Let's look through that 76 Buccaneer deck and see if we don't pull in Morris Owens for a drive or two. How about that? I think that's only fair. John McKay, ooh, I don't know about that. And let's then look at our receiver core of Godwin, Evans, Johnson, Hagen's with a little Jimmy Giles, and we use Morris Owens in there just in case. All right, we'll count this all up. I'll make it a little more realistic, actually. Won't have a team full of just all-stars. Okay, but we do need another. Let's make sure. What do we have here defensively? I think we can find them. My goodness, it's a little daunting sometimes, and we'll put Eckwood and Bell right at the top of the. Well, no, we won't put them at the top of the running back order. We'll put them down here. So we'll have Dunn and Allstott, Michael Pittman, and then Bell and Eckwood down there in the bottom. And just got to find that Hannah card. I know it is in here somewhere. We'll give the Buccaneers. This is Victor Wenzel's 3D printed field he printed for us at Canton, by the way. This is John Turnbull's gift of a great custom dice tray. John Turnbull, creator of Drive Time Football. Victor Wenzel got a whole catalog of 3D printed goodies there. And I'll just put the Buccaneers in the home slot, the Raiders in the away slot. And let's go back to trying to finalize our lineup here. As I know I had a Hannah card. Well, we have the Hannahs right there. What am I talking about? Hannah, Horton, Wilson, Gruber. We need another guard. Well, let's see. Who we don't have all, because the 99 set featured generic cards. We won't do that. We'll pull someone from the 02 team here. I don't have the 2001 set with me. Maybe Kerry Jenkins can fill that bill, or Cozy. We'll get Jenkins and Coleman in there. And we won't use the split V ratings, which are V pass / run. So Kerry Jenkins is a 3 against a pass, but he's better on the run on a run play as a 4. And in fact, the 2002 season sets when the first time that offensive players have the V ratings in APBA football. So we'll do that. So we've got our offense. Essentially got our offense, and we can rotate the guards, the right guards in there, and we get Gruber. So it's actually not. This might be a little more interesting than we'd hoped for. Getting all these, we don't have a slew of great offensive linemen for the Buccaneers over the past 50 years, but defense is a whole another story. All right, this is just going to be an embarrassment of riches. We'll decide which Warren Sapp we're going to use. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if one of his seasons he has a touchdown return. We shall see. We'll just put the linebackers in here. Derek Brooks on the outside. How about Derek Brooks behind Leroy Selman? Is that pretty cool? Batman Wood over here on the other side of Rice, Simeon Rice. We got, again, Rondy Barber's not his best card. We got an embarrassment of riches here. Washington and White as 4-point corners. We got Cedric Brown as a 4-point safety and Cotton. I mean, look at that. That, in fact, 79 Buccaneers secondary is a complete shutdown secondary, if you remember the old rules. And we won't explain all that right now. But it was Derek Brooks again. You got a couple versions. Oh, man, but John Lynch there with a Mark Cotney. What a great punch there. John Lynch, again, we'll figure out which of his cards is best. We might, instead of Rondé, we got Donnie Abram in there first, so we might do a little bit of that. Quarles is a middle backer, and Hardy Nickerson. And we got Brian Kelly is another 4-point corner there. So, and we've got a Hardy Nickerson as a 5, so and we'll use his 97 card instead of his 99 card. So, let's take a look at the Warren Sapp cards and just see what we have here. They're pretty similar, right? 97, 99, and 02. It really does not matter. His numbers on returns are not going to be great. I guess I'd opt for since he's got a 3 at 66 here. We'll allow it if he gets a big return. So, We'll go with the 99 card. It doesn't really matter much. Minor differences there. So we got Leroy Selman, we got Warren Sapp, Anthony McFarland, and Simeon Rice. How's that for an all-time Buccaneer? And I know there are a couple folks we're missing here, but right off the bat, you're 19 out of 20 points. And then, so we're going to go a 3. Well, but how do you do that? Oh, man, you know what? I think we're actually, oh, boy, this is a tough choice. We'll start as a 4-3. We might go to 3-4. So we got Derek Brooks, Selman, Nickerson, and Batman Wood. Well, which of the Brooks cards? Oh, without a doubt, his 02 set card is the one to use there. So we'll put this 99 card back. So we got outside Derek Brooks from 2002. We got a 79 Dewey Selman. We got a Hardy Nickerson. And we get Shelton Quarles there as well. We can rotate him, and we got to have Batman Wood. He's even though he's 4 points, we need that. And then out of the 2 Hardy Nickersons, which is there's better numbers? Well, we'll stick with his 97 for the flat 5 there in the middle. So all right. So this is shaping up. It's really going to be great. And of course, you know, the 76 Raiders have an incredible offense. Their original offense was something like 46 out of 55 points, if I remember correctly. Let's see. So Derek Brooks, Dewey Selman, Hardy Nickerson now. I think we're going to start Nicholson. And let's see, Shelton Quarles and Batman Wood. We got some. We can shift them around in the outside as well. We'll figure that out as the game goes on. We just want to get these guys on the field, all right? And now the secondary. Well, I mean, geez, this is just nuts. Well, we know right off the bat, John Lynch. What are his better numbers there? Pretty similar, I think, leaning to, I like that. That will be maybe that 8 at 66 for his 99 card. Will be a little better. So maybe we'll use his 99 there. And so we got him as strong safety. We need a second safety. Jeez, you only have Cedric Brown, Mark Cotney, Lynch. I think we'll have Cotney with Brown backing him up. So Cotney and Lynch right off the bat. And then in terms of the corners, again, well, we've got Brian Kelly. We'll use him. And we'll rotate White and Washington in there. But we'll start Kelly. No, we'll start one of these guys, and we can rotate Kelly in. Maybe we'll rotate Kelly in on the... We'll keep these 79 guys, the vintage side here. And then over here, we got Rondé Barber. He's only a 3 there. I'll maybe take a quick look and see what a better card for him would be. But then Brian Kelly and Donnie Abraham. So we'll make Kelly the first, Abram the second, and Barber the third. And now when you look at this, lay this out, this defense out as follows. You got one heck of a lineup. Okay, let's just tally that up. Cotney and Lynch. So 5, 10, 14, 19, 24, 29, 33, 38, 42, 46, 50 out of 55 points. That should keep the 76 Raiders in check. All right. We all happy with that? That's just one of the many ways you can blend an original franchise set. You know what? I think I dropped a card a little bit back there. So let's get these folks together. All right. There's There's defense. And then on offense, we're going to just play out a little bit like this. Ricky Bell. Jerry Eckwood there backing up All-Star. We're going to stick with that 79 Doug Williams and then Johnson and Brady. So that's going to elevate you by 2 points and 3 points over the course of the game. Evans, Godwin, Hagen's going to drop you a point. Keyshawn is a 4. Giles a 4. Yeah, you really get a sense of kind of the futility of the Buccaneers over the course of their history here. But we've got an O-line. All right. Yeah, that's not super promising, really, when you think about it. Well, Chris Godwin with the asterisk, we've got to go with him. And I'll back him with Ike Higgins. We'll have Keyshawn to start and Mike Evans to back him up. Jimmy Giles at the tight end and Morris Owens as a third stringer there. So what do we have? We got 4, 8, 11, 14, 18, 22, 26, 30, 34, 38, and then 40 or 42 or 43. So by quarterback, we'll go from a 40-point offense to a 42 to a 43 with Brady, which shows you how the points matter. Obviously, if you'd had a couple more O-line greats for the Buccaneers, and I apologize if I'm missing any of your favorites, but you know those 3s, if they were 4s, and those 4s, one of those 4s is a 5, now you see how those points start to matter. So let's pull our Buccaneers together here. I like the lineups. And we've got our special teams. We're going to use Tom Tupa as the punter. And we've got Grammatica. Which Grammatica? Boy, automatic Grammatica. Thinking the O2 card looks particularly promising. Remember, he's doing kickoffs on the P column on that card. And this actually on both. So, I think I'll use the O2 Grammatica. Why not? And return-wise, I think we might have better, but we've got Carl Williams there. Mark Royals as a punter instead of Tupa. We'll have Royals as a backup. Why not? And actually, he does kickoffs in his R column, so he's got a leg as well. So we just need those, we might just have Williams do all the returns. I know there's someone we could use better somewhere in the fold. So I think we're in good shape. And there's your 76 Buccaneers Revenge Squad, the All-Star franchise, as best as we've pieced it together. Didn't even use a lot of the 21 Super Bowl team there, but for a couple folks. So, just to recap, now we've got the remastered 76 Raiders here. Ken Stabler, Dave Casper, Cliff Branch. You see where they're going with this. 5s and 5s and 5s. And the original Raider team, as issued in 77 for the 76 season, was 46 offense. Fred Biletnikoff, we actually met him in his gold jacket in Canton last year. Mark Van Egan, CD, Shell, Upshaw. See, those 5s and those 4s matter. But then Dave Dalby, George Bueller, John Vella, I tell you, this O-line's going to have a problem against that Buccaneer D-line, right? And on the return squad, Errol Dadman, or in the special team squad, Ray Guy, the great one, of course. You know, Fred Steinfurt, they had some injuries there. Those J4s mean they were injured. Carl Garrett, Rick Jennings, Neil Colsey on the returns. And then defensively, 2s, and they were running a 3-4. Dave Rowe, Sistrunk, These guys have been downpointed a bit from the original set. Phil Villapiano, Willie Hall, Monty Johnson, Kick Him in the Head Ted, Skip Thomas, and Old Man Willie, Atkinson, and Tatum. So we have a heck of a matchup here. We'll compare these lineups to one another, and we'll play a quarter and see who wins the battle of the NFL Pirates. 76 Raiders versus the Revenge of the 76 Buccaneers All-Stars. Just for good measure, went back and found Rondé's 2021 card. So we'll sub that one in. We also got the 01 Carl Williams card if we want to try that. And I forgot Dave Lewis, another 5-point backer there. So we can jump back into our lineup here. And instead of 02 Williams, we can use 01. We'll see which one is better. And then we'll go back into our defense here. And we got Derek Brooks. We can back him. We can put Dave Lewis in first and Brooks second. Alternate them on drives. We get Hardy Nickerson there. Backed by Dewey Selman and Shelton Quarles. And then we got Batman Wood. In fact, we should probably put Dave Lewis over there to up that defense. So, oh, and then of course, Cotney and Lynch. And we got Brian Kelly and Mike Washington. We'll maybe start Mike Washington and throw Rondé in there to make sure everyone gets playing time. And that's how we'll do that. So now we're going to add up the 76 Raiders offense, and we'll have their defense over here, and the Bucks 50th anniversary team. Put their defense there and their offense. So the stock 76 Raiders 13-1 on offense are 5, 9, 12, 15, 18, 23, 28, 33, 37, 41, 44. And we're going to use the standard plus or minus 7B index for results. I'll just add the defense really quickly here. 3, 6, 9, 13, 16, 19, 23, 26, 29, 33, 37. Seems a bit low, doesn't it? Let's just make sure. 3, 6, 9, 13, 16, 19, 23, plus that 6 is 29, and that 8 is 37. All right, and we know that APBA in the past 10 or so years has diminished those 40-point teams a bit. They're trying to put more 3-point folks in there. So let's just start with the 50th anniversary Bucks team here. 4, 8, 11, 14, 18. And that's going to be 22, 26, 28, 32, 36, 40, 'So you're going to be 40 on offense with Doug. You're going to be 42 with Brad. And 43 with Tom. Okay. So that's how the Buccaneers... excuse me now. The Raiders offense is 44. I put that in the wrong spot. 42 and 43. Offense for the Buccaneers. Brad and Tom. All right, so pardon me. So the 50th anniversary Buccaneers are 40, 42, and 43 versus the 37 defense of the Raiders. So they'll be in the B index the whole way, except for the receiver boost. We'll talk about that. And then we need to figure out the Buccaneer defense, which I think we said is 50, pretty much starting with Leroy. So 5, 10, 14, 19, 24, 29, 33, 37, 41, 46, 50. And so, fittingly that the 50th anniversary Bucs team, their 50th season, is a 50-point defense. We can elevate that by at least a point. But the Raiders, the 76 Raiders find themselves at -6 points comparing their offense to defense, but they'll still be in the B index unless there are some major injuries on the Raiders side. So, a B index contest, we'll set it up. Time for a classic Halloween Bowl. The original 76 Raiders, remastered for the Apple Football Master Game, versus the first-time original franchise All-Star set that we've compiled for this purpose from several Apple Football seasons, stretching back to one member of the 76 team and a bunch of folks who are all over the top 50 Buccaneers of all time lists. For this game, because we are using cards from pre and post master versions, we're going to use big whiteboards from both eras, okay? And we're going to play a quarter of football, and I won't explain every single detail of the shift between the master game cards and the previous cards. But I will point out here that we're going to be using, again, we'll have both teams of the B index. The 76 Raiders are 44-point offense against the Buccaneers defense that is appropriately 50 points. Originally, the Raiders were 46 points. When the Buccaneers have the ball with Doug Williams and his 79 card, which is 2 points, the Buccaneer offense will be 40 points. When Brad Johnson's in, they'll be 42. And when Tom Brady of 2021 is in, they will be 43 points, all against the Raider 37-point defense. The Raiders were originally 41. And just to recall that the 76 Bucs originally were 26 offense, 29 defense. That said, because of the original secondary rule, the Buccaneers were able to elevate their index against the Raiders because the Raiders secondary was not the true 16-point shutdown secondary according to the old rules. And just as in real life, when the Buccaneers put 16 points up on Oakland, in our replay of the 76 Bucs season, the Buccaneers put 17 points up on the Raiders and a loss. I think it was 34-17. The Buccaneers, in our replay, finished 3-10-1, tying the Patriots at the end of the season. So we have the Buccaneers at home, the Raiders away. So we'll let the Raiders, and we'll use the 35-yard line since we'll play by the Raider rules here. We'll use the 76 era. And what we'll do is we won't key plays. We won't have shutdown secondaries. So the receivers' grades will elevate against the opposing team. So both teams in B index, when there's a throw to an A receiver, the result will be in the A index, not the B. So when we will roll the traditional Apple red and white dice, and we'll throw in the black defensive decider. 1 will be a light line, 6 will be heavy line. Everything else is standard. So You know, that should work out pretty well. And if it's an obvious passing down, we'll just go with the D-line. I'll call the offense, and I'll change the lineups to make sure that we get some Doug Williams, Brad Johnson, Tom Brady, and all the different runners and receivers. It's one of the great reasons to play these projects. So the Raiders are the visiting team here. We're out at the Sombrero, and we'll say the Raiders, they'll call even. And it is even. They'll receive the ball. Let's do this. All right, so let's put 15 minutes on the clock here. We'll have Martin Gramatica and his 2002 card. Don't need a D dice there. He's going to kick off on his P column, and that's going to be a 2. All right, now we have to separate out all the boards here. And since we're going on the first quarter only, we have to find. All right, so that's a kickoff of 2, right? 45 is 2, kicking off on his P. First quarter is 66 yards, and I think the Raiders will take the touchback. So we'll just call that no time off the clock. And here comes Stabler and the Raiders, and this is the Raider team they have the what do we have here? We have let's see, we have Van Eegen and Davis at running back. We got Branch, Casper, and Biletnikoff. Let's first and 10 at the 20. Love Victor Wenzel's 3D printed fields here. Absolutely the coolest thing. We will have the 3 timeouts available. And let's go medium to Casper. And that's going to be standard line. 61 on Stabler's P card is a 10 to Casper. It's going to be 10A in the medium. In that field position, 10A standard. Ooh, not out of bounds. All right. And that's a half play. 15 seconds off the clock. And we'll do second down and 1. Very nice. All right. Stabler making a statement right off the bat. We'll do Van Eegen inside on 2nd and 1. Oh, against the light line. Interesting. Well, we'll maybe make that standard anyway. Van Eegen, he's a 29. So B, he's plunging, right? That's the inside run. 29, B standard. I think we'll leave it as the, doesn't really matter. He's -1 yard. The Buccaneers stiffened, so it's going to be 3rd and 2. He stayed in bounds. Wow, so that 50-point Buccaneer defense not messing around. I mean, you got Leroy Selman, Warren Sapp, Mr. McFarland, Mr. Simeon Rice, D.D. Lewis, Hardy Nickerson. You've got a murderer's row there of defenders. So 3rd and 2. Let's do maybe short pass to Biletnikoff. All right, let me find the right board. Short to Biletnikoff. That's a 6. Flying out of against the standard line. 16 on Stabler's card is 18. It's going to be A standard. 18A standard is incomplete. All right. So the Buccaneers hold. That's a half play. And the Ray Guy, the venerable Ray Guy, is going to be kicking off to the classic Carl Williams. So let's see what we get here. Been a while. If you haven't used the old boards in a while. 4th and 2. All right. So, Ray Guy. He's on his K column, right? So he's 10. And he's punting from his, there. It's 37 to D10. And we know Carl Williams is the only returner there. So 7, 17, 27, 37. Not a great kick for Ray Guy. And let's get Mr. Williams here. We'll use his, we'll start with his 01 card, all right? And where is that small die there? We'll use that 1 card, 36 for Carl Williams. He's returning on his P column. So it's going to be 24. I don't think it'll be too much there. Punt return, when we said 36 is 24. It's going to be 2 yards. He still makes a couple yards on that. All right, and we'll call that a change of possession, half a play. And the Buccaneers, with Doug Williams at the helm, have a 1st and 10 at their 37. Okay, now, Doug Williams, we're going to use his 2.79 card. Okay. And like I said, we do have his 81 card as well, but it's maybe a little more power in that one there. So we've got Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott in there. Again, this is not the strongest Raider defense. Old Man Willie and Matuzik and Otis Sistrunk. And what will Doug Williams do? We're going to have to use his the old boards here. So let's see. Doug Williams, I think, should try to make his own statement. Let's go short to Chris Godwin. And that's a 42. Against a heavy line, we're going to do. 42 is going to be 13A against a heavy line. Why not? 13A, 1st down and 2 out of bounds. We're going to give it to him, right? See what we do there is we look at the P column. Plus Chris Godwin is an A and he's an asterisk, so even if we were playing by the rules of the usual game, we would not see his grade reduced. So it's 13, short pass, A against that G line, we're calling it, 1st and 2 out of bounds. So 10, 12, right? We are at the 49-yard line, and that's a half play. All right, love it. Doug Williams, not cowed by the greatness of the snake, puts up his own aerial display to start this Buccaneer revenge trip. Let's see. Let's send. We gotta send Allstott inside, right? And that's going to be on Mike's 99 card. That's going to be a 25. That's going to be 0, right, against the standard. And that's going to be on the. I'm sorry. Actually, yeah, it should be. It's in the 0. Yeah. All right. So that's a half play. That's a full play. 2nd and 10. So Allstott getting that old school fullback is no stranger. He's not fooling the vintage 3-4 Raiders defense there. Let's go on a 2nd and 10. Let's do Warwick Dunn on the outside run, and that's Dunn's 97 card. That's going to be standard line 42, 17. Be standard. It's going to be 7 yards for Warwick. All right. So breaking midfield for the first time on a 3rd down. And that's a full play. Getting used to Victor's field here. All right. So we're spreading the ball around a bit. The Buccaneers have a 3rd and 3 at the Raider 44. Let's see. What's Doug Williams going to pull out of his hat here? So we go short to Jimmy Giles, and it's 65 on 65 standard is going to be a 19. Ooh, and Jimmy is an A, so it'll be 19. 19A against the standard line is 4 yards to Jimmy Giles. Doug Williams never experienced the A index in his life, but with a B grade team throwing to his man Jimmy Giles, the 79 Buck connection, makes it the first down of the game. 1st and 10 at the Raider 40. The silver and black, the pride and poise, not expecting this display at all. All right, Doug Williams confidently running this offense featuring players from across the spectrum, but a lot of his O-line, 3/5 of his O-line, Hannah, Horton, and Wilson, are from that great 79 squad that should have been in the Super Bowl against the Steelers. We saw that 1980 matchup in Tampa between Pittsburgh and the Bucs firsthand. So let's go, let's see, we had Allstott and Dunn in. Let's flip in some Jerry Eckwood. That's going to drop their offense by a point, but they've got points to spare. Let's put in Eckwood and Bell. Let's make it a full-on 79 backfield here. Let's do an outside run to Ricky Bell. See what the Raiders think about that. Ricky Bell, oh my goodness, that's a 33, is a 15B standard outside run. And we're using, since that is an older card, 15B standard. And no, we're not there yet. We're over here. 13 yards, Ricky Bell. Brilliant. I love it. 13 for another Buccaneer first down. Are the Raiders going to see the ball in this one-quarter matchup? 1st and 10 at the Raider 27. Doug Williams putting on a clinic here so far. And let's check out this receiver core. Godwin was already targeted. Let's put Morris Owens in there. That's going to drop 2 points to 38 offense, 37 defense. But we got to give Morris Owens a little play here. At least get him on. Let's see. But, you know, we're actually going to send Jerry Eckwood inside. Send Jerry Eckwood. Oh, man. 44 is a 16B standard. All right, that 5 is a standard line. That's Jerry Eckwood pounds it for 9. And that's another first down and another full play. Sorry, not a first down. But another great run, another great gain here. So 27, okay. So we get a 2nd and 1 at the Raider 23. All right, my goodness. Buccaneers are looking like the, and this isn't even the All-Stars here. Eckwood, Bell, amazing. Everyone's getting a taste right now. Let's go short to Keyshawn Johnson, all right? Doug Williams has never played with a receiver quite of that height. So let's go short to, 13 is a 35. It's going to be A standard, short pass A standard, Keyshawn Johnson. All right. 6 yards to Keyshawn, but a penalty. So we're going to half play that. And what is the penalty? So it's a 6-yard gain to Keyshawn Johnson from the great Doug Williams, but the penalty is an H. And I guess we should use the, where do we? Well, we use the master board there. Why not? We can find the darn thing. All right, so we have to roll for the penalty. It's an H penalty. And where the heck is it? I haven't used these boards in a while. My goodness. It's on the penalty table. Here we go. H. What do we got? It's a 3. H is 21. Is pass interference on the offense. 10 yards from the line. Oh, the first Buccaneer miscue. So it's going to be 2nd and 11 now. Oh, my goodness. Keyshawn maybe a little aggressive on a push-off there. Oh. All right. Well, Buccaneers shot themselves in the foot there, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 instead of 2nd and 1. So they're on the Raider 33. They got to get to the 17 there. Let's do, all right, we'll, you know what? Let's go back to Johnson. We'll go, the old one, you could go long pass up to the 25. Let's do, Doug's going to go long to Keyshawn. 55 against a heavy line. They were going to push for that. That's going to be a 55 is 10. Johnson listened to an A, and he's going long A standard in that last little piece of real estate. 10A standard, now actually heavy, is 23 yards. 23 yards to Keyshawn Johnson from Doug Williams. 3, 13, 23 to the 5. First and goal. And that is fully in bounds. Doug Williams, uncowed, unbowed. Back to Keyshawn Johnson. What a great connection across the eras of the Buccaneers. I love that. First and 10 at the 5. We're going to keep Bell and Eckwood in. Let's do Ricky Bell outside. Right? That's a 31. Is 18B against a heavy line. The Raiders are expecting it. So 31, 18B heavy. Ricky Bell still elbows his way forward for 3 yards, right? Mark that time, mark that distance, and it's second and goal. We got to put, oh my goodness. Let's do Eckwood inside. Let's do Eckwood inside run. Against the light line, we'll make that a standard. Jerry Eckwood is a 56-25. That's just going to be, oh, it's a B. It's Eckwood loses a yard. Oh, man. So, that's inbounds. That's going to be third down. 1, 2. And look at the Buccaneers just eating the clock here. My goodness. Well, I think we're going to put Mike Allstott back in there. Let's go, and we're going to flip back to Chris Godwin. Let's go, I think Doug's going to go short to Giles again. All the way out there is 36. It's going to be 18A against the standard short pass. 18A standard. Oh, it was -1. The Raiders chase that down. 1, 2. And that's inbounds. So, well, I think Mr. Grammatica is going to come out here for a chip shot. 21-yarder. This should be a no-brainer. But the Buccaneers, what a great drive with the old guard there. So Grammatica, didn't even need that. Grammatica is a 42. He's kicking on his K is a 3. I mean, I know that's good, but we're just going to look at how good it is. That field goal is right there. Goal to 9. You count it from the line of scrimmage, and there you go. Half play, and the Buccaneers, Grammatica, caps a great drive for Tampa Bay. Doug Williams, absolutely brilliant. He earned with that 79 2-point card. So next we're going to bring in, we'll have Brad Johnson for their next drive. And what great spreading the ball. Eckwood, Bell, Giles, Keyshawn, went right back to them. You got to love that. The gumption there. You know, it's a hometown crowd, and it's the 50th anniversary. We're going to exorcise the demons of that 76 Bucks team. Grammatica, I did not need that black die. I did that again. It was a 41. Oh, that's interesting. But he's kicking from the P. He's kicking at the 35 here. So that's a 22. All right. That kickoff is a 58-09. All right, so that's left halfback. 10, 20, 30, 40, 58 to the 09 from the 7-yard line, and that's going to be, let's go check out who we have. We need the OA, and that is not Neil Coles. That's Carl Garrett. Carl Garrett is rolling a 51, looking on his K column, is a 19 now. And that kick return, healthy 27 yards from Mr. Carl Garrett, right? 27 yards. So that's 3, 13, 23, 27 to the Raider, 34. And Mr. Ken Stabler and crew will have a second opportunity here. After the Raiders, the Buccaneers drove a lot of clock down there. All right, so let's see. Well, Stabler aired it out in that first drive, but they stalled. So maybe we'll do medium to branch. Is 32. Uh-oh. Is a 24. It's going to be 24A. We said medium, right? 24A against the standard line to branch. Uh-oh. 24A standard. Oh my goodness. Is going to be W66. No. It's 32, 24. It's up here. 24B standard, but that's firmly in the interception range. Oh my goodness. And that's, yep, standard line, but A standard is W65. W65, we need our locators. W65, the locator, is 32. W65, a 32. Oh, 8 yards picked off by the D10. All right. Yep. 8 yards, 6, 7, 8, and picked off by the left safety, who is Mr. Mr. Lynch. Right? Oh my goodness. John Lynch, 2002. I'm just going to double check this. Yeah, D10, the strong safety, Mr. John Lynch, picks off the great Stabler. And what do we have? A 64 is an 18 on his R column. And that return is going to be, not on that board. Again, the board juggle. Intercepted pass return. An 18 is 26 yards of the great John Lynch. Oh my goodness. Talk about cross-era stardom. 26-yard interception return, John Lynch. So that's going 3, 13, 23, 26. That's a change of possession. 8 minutes to go, and the Buccaneers thwart Mr. Ken Stabler. They have a 1st and 10, does Tampa Bay at the Raider 17. Unbelievable. Brad Johnson and crew. Great field position here. The Raiders utterly flummoxed. Oh my goodness. Ken Stabler, that 32, firmly in the interception range there. Would not have expected that, but maybe that crowd pressure is getting to him. Brad Johnson. Let's have Brad go short to Warwick Dunn, who's in a B. So let's go short pass. Brad Johnson to Warwick Dunn. Brad, 65 is a 16B standard line. Short pass in that shorter part of the field, not the shortest. 16B standard, that's going to be, 2 yards. Yeah. Again, 65 on the P is a 16 to the B is. A lot of incompletes there, but Brad Johnson gets a couple to Warwick Dunn. And let's mark that 2nd and 8. And a full play to 7:30. The Raiders, this is just basically a Buccaneer clinic, which is exactly what we'd want for the 50th anniversary here, wouldn't we? Let's see. We're going to do, let's do All-Star inside. Is a 46. Not great. It is 22, though. It's going to be 22B. Our inside run against the standard line. 22B standard is going to be another 2 yards. And right in bounds there. 2 more yards. And it's going to be another few ticks and a 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. What will Brad Johnson do here at the Raider 13 with a 3rd and 6? Got to get to the 7. Send Warwick Dunn outside. Why not? Warwick Dunn, a 45. Is 22 against the standard. Outside run won't be great. B standard 22. He loses 2. Not a great result there. So the Raiders stiffen. That's going to be a 4th down. Full play there. So I guess we're going to send Grammatica in here again, kicking from the Raider 15, another chip shot here. Nothing is automatic, of course, but pretty automatic. That's a 3 for Grammatica from the 15. And we're in the first quarter. And that's just as good gets. So there you go, a half play off. And we're going to be kicking off again to the Buccaneers. Confidently. But that's only 6 points, you know. You know who you got on the opposing side here. So let's get Grammatica kicking off. That's 65 equals a 20 on his P column. And 20 is 67.09. I think we're going to let the Raiders take that as a touchback again. No time off the clock. First 10 at the 20. Let's get the down marker. Always forget board management. All right, well, Raiders are only down 6 points. They're resilient, of course. They're champions. And facing this all-star Raider or Buccaneer defense, which, by the way, let's switch out. We got instead of D.D. Lewis, we're gonna take Derek Brooks in here and put him in for Batman Wood, which is gonna elevate them to 51 points. And we'll flip actually instead of Mike Washington. We flipped Mike Washington out for Rondé Barber from 2001. Now that elevates him to 52. Let's flip Mark Cotney for Cedric Brown. No, we had John Lynch in. Let's put Cedric Brown in for Lynch, which would drop them back to 51. We're going to keep the so even though the Bucs defense is at 51, they're +7 against the Raiders. The Raiders in the B just barely. We're just getting these folks in the game here. So again, we're going to double check the lineup, the defense count here. 5, 10, 15, 19, and 29, 34, and 12. It's 46, 51. Rondé Barber's 2001 card, the Hall of Famer. Right in there with Brian Kelly from 2002. Actually, we could maybe put in, we'll put in some Donnie Abraham. Why not? We'll flip Brian Kelly of 02 for Abraham from 99 and see if that look confuses Stabler at all. The Raiders have 6 minutes, 15 seconds left in this grudge match. The greatest team to beat the 76 Bucs, the most powerful, against the Buccaneers All-Stars. Let's see. Let's go short to Casper. And Stabler is 45 is 11. Short to Casper is going to be A against a standard. So 11A standard. Right away goes to Casper for 11 yards. First and 10 at the 31, full play. Would you expect anything less from the snake to the ghost? Of course not. All right, so maybe that chemistry on that realigned defense of the Buccaneers, we have to get that together there. Still have Hardy Nickerson in the middle here. Maybe we'll flip out Hardy Nickerson. We'll flip him out for Dewey Selman in the middle guard position there. Let's do it. All right, so now we got Dewey and Leroy together. Let's see. Let's do Clarence Davis outside run. CD rolls a 25 for 16. It's going to be 16 B standard. All right, that's a nice number. 2, 5 against the standard. 16 B standard. Oh my goodness, a nice 13 for Mr. Clarence Davis there, yeah? 13 yards. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Another full play. First and 10. The Raiders making it look easy now at the 44. And this is what you would expect. Never count out the silver and black here. All right. Let's go Van Egan up the gut. Is 33. Van Egan rolls a 15 inside run against the standard. So it's going to be 15B standard. You got to get those rolls. That's the inside run. 15B standard. Oh, my goodness. Van Egan, 14 yards. And if it had been Clarence Davis, he would have had a breakaway. But as it is, Van Egan's got that sturdy 15 there and an inside run. 14 yards as he crosses midfield the first time for the Raiders. 11, 12, 13, 14. And the Raiders, just like that, are at the Buccaneer 42 in this Halloween special. All right. Let's see. Let's go short to Biletnikoff. Is going to be 14 for Stabler's a 35. That's good. It's going to be 35 A standard. 35 A standard is 7 yards, but an H penalty. We're going to ignore the injury, I think. So it's a half play. 7 yards to Biletnikoff, but the penalty, an H, is, let's find that board again. Penalty is a 7, H, 7. Holding on the offense. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a 1st and 20. They're back across midfield. Unbelievable. Offensive errors. Now the Buccaneers overcame their error. That Keyshawn Johnson pass interference, followed that with a big gain. So let's see, can Stabler get back some of that yardage from a 2nd and 3 to a 1st and 20. Let's go Clarence Davis outside is 45. 22. Not the best for the outside run. It's going to be 22 against a light line, though. But still, 22 B against the light line is zip. Unfortunately, if that's an inside run, you get a nice 4 yards, but that's 0 yards on the outside for CD. Unfortunately, a full play there, 2nd and 20. The Buccaneers were not fooled at all, so that whole new lineup there is gelling quite nicely. Thank you very much. Let's go medium to branch. And that's a 3. Medium to branch, Stabler's a 64, is a 9. Uh-oh. Medium to branch, 9A against a, where'd it go? 9A, again, the 64 is a 9 on his card, is a 9A against the standard. That's a medium play, medium pass, 9A standard. Is 14 yards, all right, to branch. Medium pass. That's the field. It's A, 9A standard, 14 to Cliff Branch. That makes up a chunk. 2, 12, 13, 14. That's a 3rd down, and that's a full play. Very exciting connection. Stabler and Branch, how many times? So that's 3rd. They have to get to the 32 from the 38. So that's a 3rd and 6 now. Let's go short to Casper. Against the heavy line, that would probably be a light line. We'll check it out. You know what? We'll give the defense an audible there. But it's short to Casper. It's 46 on Stabler's card is a 16A. 16A. Going to be 16A against it would have been a D line, truthfully, as opposed to the G. Yeah, well, I mean, let's play it the way it was played. They went heavy line, calling it as a blitz. We'll call that a heavy line of blitz in that situation, and the Raiders pull out a 1st down. Unorthodox, we'll let it stand. Hey, it's the Raiders. That's half play down to the 3-minute mark here in the 1st quarter. Will it stay there? 1st and 10 at the Buccaneer 32. So we're not using the blitz call here, which drops results, drops you down the results column, all things considered. So we'll let that stand as they went heavy line, did the Bucs. They tried a blitz. They figured if they got the sack, they'd get heavy yardage, but they didn't. 1st and 10 at the 32, and they're still in that magic area just outside the 31-yard line. So the Raiders 3 minutes to go here. What are we going to see? Are we going to see a Brady showdown here? Would Brady need to get the ball back? Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Stabler and the Raiders down 6-0. Let's go Davis outside is 14. Uh-oh, it was 35. 35 outside. He's on a B index, and he's against the standard line. 35 B standard is 4 yards and an E penalty. 4 yards and an E penalty. We're going to half play that. 4 yards, but the E penalty. What is that penalty? It's a 4 E. 4E is 7. Is holding on the offense again. Uncharacteristic mistakes from the veteran Raider line, although it sure wasn't Shell or Upshaw. It was probably one of the three-pointers, Dalby, Bueller, or Vela. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you hate to see that. And that is 2:45. The Raiders face a second, 1st and 20. All right, let's go to... Going to go medium to Casper. Medium to Casper is a 16. Is 18A against a light line. Uncanny. 18A. That's purely incomplete. No magic there. Half play. 2nd and 20 for the Raiders. Let's go short to Biletnikoff. Uh-oh. That's a 1. That 11 is a 1. Should have called a bigger play. Going short against a heavy line, too. But it's going to be 11A to Biletnikoff. Again, call it like a blitz. So 11 is a 1. Oh, gee. Wow. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was a short. Biletnikoff's in the A. And that 11-1, it's all the way touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. The Stabler magic, 42 yards on the short pass. And we're thinking, oh, it should have been a medium. Oh, it should have been a long. But no. 1 + 1 equals 1 to the man himself, Mr. Gold Jacket, the fellow Gold Jacket. No, Stabler's in the Hall of Fame. No, he should be. But Biletnikoff, 4-point A. And against that stellar secondary and that stellar defense all the way in. Half play and dad man against, we'll call it that. It doesn't even matter, by the way. Doesn't matter if they call the right defense, light, medium, heavy. So, man, oh man, I tell you, you can always count on Ken Stabler. Kenny to Freddie. And Errol Mann is going to try that kick. And pivotal kick here. And well, what do we have? Errol Mann is a 36. Kicking off in the K column, or rather, kicking the extra point is a 27. It's tenuous with these gentlemen, but 27 on the point after is good. Boy, that's close. 36 is a horrible number usually, and that 27 in the K, there you go, just makes it, and that is the Raiders now up 7-6. And who do we have on deck? Just about at the 2-minute warning. Each team has 3 timeouts. Well, Mr. Tom Brady. Should we play this longer than the full 1 quarter? I don't know. But first of all, we're going to have Mr. Mann kick this off. Oh, another shaky kick. That's a 46. Kickoff on the P column is a 25. So Mr. Brady might be getting a short field here. 20. Oh, what? Wow. A touchback. Well, that's nuts. Yeah. 44-6. Kickoff in the P column. 46 to 25. And that's the master board. And that's it. Oh, my goodness. Errol Mann. He's feeling it there. So Well, Tom Brady, and no, we didn't put Gronkowski in here. He did make the Bucs all-time list, and that makes all the sense in the world. Maybe we should go grab him. Can you imagine a twin tight end formation with Jimmy Giles and Tom Brady? Oh, maybe we should get Gronk in here. Maybe he's suited up, and well, let's see. Oh my goodness, Tom Brady. First time with the ball. Let's see. Who is he? Who do we want here for his receiving core? We're going to take Mike Evans instead of Keyshawn. Actually, we might go 3 wide. Evans, Godwin, and Keyshawn. How about that? For Tom Brady's receiver core. And we're going to go 3 wides. We got Dunn and All-Stop. Maybe we'll do, what else we have in here? You know what? Let's pull in Michael Pittman instead of Warwick Dunn or Ricky Bell. We're going to pull in 2002 Michael Pittman. So that Brady's got, what do we do on, yeah, not much on the fullback side of things there. Maybe we do a single back. What do you think? I think we got to get a Gronkowski card. And here is Mr. Gronkowski's card. So we have Tom Brady with Gronkowski at tight end. We got Michael Pittman from 2002 with an A short, B long, A short screen, B medium long. And then we got a 3 wide with Keyshawn, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. The all-time Buccaneers, the 50th anniversary Bucks, down by a point to the 76 Raiders. Toughest team, perhaps, of the 76 disaster season for the 014 Bucks. Tom Brady here against the Pride and Poise boys, Jack Tatum, George Atkinson. What are we going to do here? I think we're going to go short to Pittman. And that's a 21. Is 12A. It's going to be 12A against a standard line to Pittman. It's going to be 9 yards on our short pass. 9 yards, and that's the 2-minute warning. That's the second one at the 29. Oh, my goodness. 3 timeouts here. And we'll do sudden death, although, you know. All right, what are we going to do here? Let's see. We're going to go, I think we're going to go medium to Gronkowski. Is going to be 63. Is 29A. Against a D-line. They called it, which actually will help if that is a sack. 29A D-line, and it is. 29A medium pass D-line. Brady sacked for 4 yards. They'll call a timeout. That's 3rd and 5. Oh, my goodness. Bucks will come down to 2 timeouts here. Well. Tom Brady, what's the magic? Is there magic on a 3rd and 5? It's a go-for-it situation. Short to Godwin. Let's go short Godwin. Is 24. 24 is 11. A against the standard. Short A Godwin. 11A standard. And that makes sense as a call. It's A index. Godwin is A, and he's an asterisk. Doesn't matter here. Short pass, and just confirmed, Tom Brady's 24 is an 11. Short standard, and that is 11 yards. And a first down to keep the Buccaneers alive at their 36. And, will we let the clock run? Yeah, we're going to let the clock run. All right, that was, we'll call the time, all right. And this is more than APBA. So this is a little more than the traditional APBA play calling here. So we're just going to go with it. That's part of the magic, eh? Let's see. Let's go to it's first 10 at 36. Let's go short to Mike Evans. Is 23. Brady pushing it. At 23 is a 22. A standard. Oh, my goodness. 22 A standard is Incomplete. Oh, boy. Tom Brady dodging a bullet there. That's an incomplete 2nd and 10. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, you see that 23 comes to a 22, which for most quarterbacks would be a problem. But Tom Brady and the Magic here. All right. A Halloween classic in the making. 2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 36. They're just down by a point, and Martin Gramatica is ready to go. He's hit a couple chip shots. Let's do Pittman outside run. Is 22 is going to be a 16 against the standard line. That would have been a great throw, of course, but 16 outside. And a B standard is a nice chunk, 13 yards. Of course, Brady had a 4 at 22 there, so that's my bad play call. That's 13 yards for Pittman from 36. The 46 to the 49. First 10 at the 49. I think the Bucs are going to call another timeout here. One more timeout. All right. That 4 would have done it. Good pass play. And I know, I realize I'm not playing this exactly in APBA terms. In fact, I should have... in fact, that should have been here. Then we left those in. We kept the time. Yeah, we'll mark that there, just for APBA terms. All right, so 1:15, you'd have one timeout. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 plays, 5 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 plays. Let's do it that way. My accounting, I'm sure when I look at the video will be wrong, but hey. All right, and let's see. 1st and 10 for the Bucs and Tom Brady. Let's go medium Gronkowski. Whoops. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, and I know it looks like I pawned it, but it's a standard line at 66 Brady's, 2 to Gronkowski. Medium, that's a touchdown. That was completely unintentional, but oh my God. Is that a tuck rule? I think I tuck ruled it. Oh my God. Gronkowski, A. Brady rules a 66 is a 2. I do not believe it, but you have to believe. Oh my goodness. It was Gronkowski, A, against the standard, a medium pass. And that is touchdowns all the livelong day. I do not believe it. 51-yard strike to Gronkowski. We're going to count that as 15-second half play. Oh, my goodness. And Gramatica, you couldn't script it any better. And here comes Gramatica to kick that point. Oh, at 11. I mean, that's we don't even have to look there. That's the point. And the Buccaneers are up 13-7 with a minute to go. That's all timeouts for the Raiders. Well, now, can the snake outgun TB12? Another TB12 nemesis for Ken Stabler. Let's get this kickoff here from Gramatica. Unbelievable. The strike, 51-yard strike from Brady to Gronkowski on a 66 is 2. Tatum and Atkinson, no chance against Gronk. Sorry, folks. Just not going to happen there. Oh, my goodness. They don't see the likes of him at all. And here's Grammatica's kick is a 64. Kicking off on the P is a 2. Unbelievable. The kickoff is 66-09. The Raiders are going to take that touchback. And Stabler, just like Brady, no time off that clock. 1 minute to go. Well. I think we know what's coming here, folks. My goodness, the Buccaneers want to make any adjustments. I think they're going to go back at the middle. Going to pull Hardy Nickerson back in here. We're going to go back on the corners to, you got Brian Kelly there. I don't know if there's any particular, we got to keep Rondé in there. Going back to Lynch for sure, it's strong safety, yeah. And Mark Cotney, sure. I think that's the way you got to go. Do they go 3-4? No, and that won't matter in APBA terms anyway. So the Raiders have all their timeouts. They are down by 6 points. They have one by half plays. They got half play, half play, half play. There are 4 plays left here, right? 2 plays a minute becomes 4 plays a minute. 30-second plays become 15-second plays. So what do we do here? The Pride and Poise, unbelievable. I just could not play out any better. I think we're going to go medium to branch. Medium to branch, and 1 or 6 is going to be a light line. 54 is a 36, medium to branch. 36A against the standard. 36A standard is 4 yards. Oh, in the second quarter, but of a touchdown. It's 4, but an H penalty. So that's a half play regardless. And that penalty is what? 4H is a 2 delay of game offense. 5 yards from the line. Oh, I think we gotta dispute that, do we? Delay a game. Do we? I think we gotta take it. 1st and 10 to 15. All right, we're gonna go long to Casper. Is 5. 25 is 6A against the standard, which it probably would not be. I should probably switch that. 6A standard. Well, we'll see. Again, 25 to stable. 6A standard. 6A, oof, wow. Is only 11 yards to Casper. Now that's in, see, as opposed to the medium, it would have been, yeah, see, that's it. So 11 yards, bad call. Gonna have to time out that 11 yards. It's gonna be second. Was that half play? So it's 3rd and 4. The 2nd and 4, rather. 2nd and 4 with only 2 plays left. Medium to branch. And it's going to be a light line. 43 is 29. A light. 29, a light. Oh my goodness. Is minus 4 yard sack correct? Stabler sacked for 4 yards by the hungry Buccaneers. That's going to be that last timeout. That one more. They go one more timeout. This is it. This is the game, right? So it's the 15. It's the 11, right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, this is it. This is all the marbles. So it's got to be long against the light. Branch. It's 16. That's going to be 18A standard. That's no good. 18A standard. Wrong board. And there's just nothing there. 18A standard. It's all incompletes. That is it, folks. The final gun. Unbelievable. Comes down to Brady and Gronkowski. Buccaneers of all time, 13. The 76 Raiders, 7. And a 1-quarter contest. Unbelievable stuff. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go Creamsicles. Pride and Poise, black and gold, black and silver, have nothing to be ashamed of there. But for the Buccaneers' 50th anniversary, a bit of sweet revenge, exorcising those demons from that 0-14 season. Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs are gonna shine.